G'day guys, Steve for Broken Sprocket. In this video, I'm introducing the 1976 HJ45. This is my uncle's farm rig, and it's mainly here to be abused, pretty much, and just collect water for the trough for the cattle. So this is just a farm rig. I tried to buy it off him one stage, but he won't sell it. It's got bits of rust here and there on it, a bit on the bonnet, bits of rust around that front bezel there. The guard has rust. She's pretty much just left out in the weather all the time. Bottom of the doors are a bit rusty. Rusty in the normal places that you would find in these old 45s. It's still savable, but it probably won't be. The insides, the floors are actually pretty decent in it. Missing stuff here and there on it, but the floors aren't too bad on this vehicle. It's pretty much standard as these things are. Nothing overly special. All he does with it is fills this water tank up. He goes about 2 kilometers down in through the paddocks to where the bore water is, and he fills it up. It goes into the trough over there for the cattle to drink before they go to market. Okay, she's got an old H motor and it still runs. How it runs I have no idea because it's so neglected. It did have oil in it when we checked it, didn't it, Zach?
Yeah, it did.
Here we go. It's got some absolutely disgusting looking oil in it. It's very, very thick and so much soot in it, it's unbelievable. Not a drop of water in the radiator, and I can guarantee you that when my uncle drives this thing, he won't put water in this, he'll just drive it, and it's good luck if it makes it back or not. Okay, so the battery's dead in the vehicle. It's got virtually no charge at all, so we're going to jump start it with the old Nissan Patrol and get this thing going, and we'll go for a little drive in it and see how neglected it is. It's like a bushfire following it with the amount of smoke that comes out of it. In fact, you could probably put a little tin behind the exhaust and collect all the oil that comes out of the exhaust pipe and put it back into the engine. That's how bad it's leaking. So we'll start it up and we'll take it for a little drive. You would normally glow back on this vehicle, but there's no point because the glow plugs don't work in it. Because the glow plugs don't work in this vehicle, we've got to use a little bit of this engine startup just to get it to fire. This neglected engine fires has got me beat, but it still goes all the time. Whew, she's like a bushfire. Also seems as though it's got a little bit of a Welsh plug that's leaking badly down there. Look at that. That's why there's never any water in it, that Welsh plug just keeps leaking. Got to clutch a few times because there's no fluids or anything in it and it don't quite work properly. Neither the handbrake don't work either. So noisy in here, has absolutely no power at all, but it's still so much fun just to drive it. Just going for a quick drive. because the Welsh plug in this engine is absolutely bugging and the water is flying out at a rapid rate. I accidentally stalled it and Zach wanted to have a drive, but he's going to have to walk back and get the Nissan Patrol to jumpstart it. So the interior is pretty much the way they were. This is the original engine kill, but it doesn't work anymore. So the engine kill now is this bonnet latch, and that will kill the engine. On the HJ47s, you kill the engine just by turning it off, like on my car Eileen. It's a HJ47 and everything works on the key. You don't need to have one of these pulls or the original type of pull here to kill the motor. I think this 45 could be savable if somebody really wanted to save it. I tried to buy it off my uncle years and years and years ago, and I ended up giving up on him because he just won't sell it to me. And I ended up buying that HJ47. If anyone follows the channel regularly knows that I own. So I gave up on this one, and that's how I ended up with Eileen, my HJ47. You can see on this side of the vehicle, the tyre sits relatively close to the front guard there. When on the other side of the vehicle, there's a little bit more gap in between, and that's because this leaf spring is bent, which probably gives it a couple of inches of lift. Now, how that leaf spring ended up becoming bent was my fault. I was driving through the paddock and I hit a tree stump, and it hit with the front diff, and it hit it that hard the whole car jumped up in the air and was sitting bridged on top of the tree stump, and it bent that front spring because the diff hit it that hard that it bent the spring. So that's my fault. But it kind of does look cool with a 2-inch lift on one side. I think it's got odd wheels on virtually every corner of the vehicle, and they're all 32-inch mud terrain tyres. The chassis looks pretty rusty and stuff like that, but when you look at it properly, the chassis isn't too bad at all. In fact, I can't see any real structural rust inside the chassis, which is a pretty good thing. The wooden floor has seen better days, and most of these wood panellings are pretty much rotten, and they've got holes in them everywhere. And under those two tyres up the front section there, they are totally, there's about 4 or 5 boards that are missing, so you would fall straight through that section. So plenty of oil comes out of the old exhaust pipe here. She's pretty beaten up, this poor old thing. It would definitely need a full restoration of the engine. It's totally buggered. How it runs has got me beat. Okay, Zach's back with the patrol now to save the day. Testament to Toyota's reliability, how this vehicle just keeps on taking this kind of abuse. What an awesome vehicle. I love that thing. That's the reason why I've got Eileen, the HJ47. You just follow the smoke and you know where he's been. Bonnet one.
Which one?
That one that's got the bonnet thing on it. So there you have it, guys. That's just a real quick look at my uncle's HJ45 Landcruiser. We absolutely love this thing, and every time we come up here to the farm we always get in it and have a little bit of a ride in it. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video, and if you did, consider subscribing, and you can also follow Broken Sprocket on Instagram. See you next time.